Well, let's get going. Okay, so thanks to all those that registered for today, and for those who have also registered for the on-demand version. Just a quick reminder to those who are on the call, you can ask questions at any time, but we do have a Q&A at end, so if you'd like to ask any questions, feel free to save it till the end. If you have any questions for those who are watching on demand or record, feel free to get in touch if you need us to answer any questions that perhaps weren't answered on today's call. So just a bit of an introduction to me. My name's Joe Sadler. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer here at Traverse Automation. Traverse Automation have been automating now in travel for over 17 years, and the only sales pitch you'll hear from me is on this slide, the next slide. But today's session is about, can I free up 80% of my current operational costs? So yeah, as mentioned, Traverse Automation are automation data and AI specialists, worked in the industry for over 17 years, helping to streamline mid to back office tasks within the industry. So start off by understanding operating costs in travel. So historically, there's been a chain reaction in travel for many, many years, which is every time there is a growth in sales, ultimately there is this plain and clear reaction, which is to hire more staff. So the breakdown of those operational costs are staff salaries. The more sales you get, the more like staff members you get into, obviously free up those administrative tasks from those who were previously doing it. Ultimately is going to impact your business margins, your growth within the company. Booking systems, customer service, marketing, and the reason why this can all become very expensive and how it becomes quite expensive is that it can be there's lots of manual processes that are involved that are quite repetitive, and actually a lot of people aren't even aware of the ability to automate these basic tasks that we're putting humans that probably have a lot more talent than they're currently using at that time in their role to process things. It can come quite expensive if you've got outdated technology. However, that being said, if you've got outdated technology that works for you and you don't want to change it, but you still want to look at automation, it is possible. And then inefficiencies as well. So the role of automation in cost reduction, well, technology like AI and RPA can significantly cut that operational cost. Certainly when it comes to more of the back office admin processing, particularly in finance as well, is a big area that a lot of operational costs can be cut quite quickly. So here's a closer look. So labor cost reduction is certainly a bigger impact in using automation and AI. Increased efficiency and productivity. A lot of people don't see that until they see it in action, which we do have a case study a few slides down the line, which I'll run through, where that increased efficiency has gone up by almost kind of 2,000%, 2,900%. Error reduction is a big one. We do workshops a lot within companies where error reduction is a big focus, and they're constantly training their staff and retraining staff, hiring new staff, and they think that is the solution by bringing an L&D rep in to make sure that they reduce these errors, or some form of kind of quality individual to make sure they check all the quotes and the bookings that come through. Streamlined operations is a big thing to look at. How can look at this overall process in operations right now, or this area of the business, and then how can we streamline it? How can we make it more effective? How can we remove some of those tasks that probably we don't need to do or need to use within that process? And then improved customer experience is definitely a big impact, certainly for those that are sending documentation or schedule changes or notifications to the customers, marketing emails, all these types of things where you can automate and improve that customer experience. So I just want to run through a couple of the key areas where automation can make an impact. Certainly at the booking and reservation system stage. Certainly if you're booking off system, if you're kind of pulling prices in from portals, you're trying to make the quotation stage more effective. customer service and support, is a big area where you can make a big impact. So a lot of people have allocation systems for customer service and complaints and administrative requests to amend their bookings. Data management and reporting has probably been the biggest discussion this year within our conversations in travel. And that data kind of management piece and reporting is having visibility of your data. Travel systems and CRM systems out there do not provide the best level of reporting. Fact. And if you're using multiple systems and the finance system's different to your booking system's different to your back office system, having that visibility of data and really consolidating it into one location is key, and is a great way that you can get that visibility for board level requirements, decisions, and making improvements within your business. And then marketing and sales process, of course, having kind of a good CRM system and process and automation there to kind of really streamline those, that process pre and post booking of their holidays and their trips. So I'm just going to spark some ideas off. So these are probably the most common discussions that we're having within travel right now. So this is to help you spark some ideas as to if you're sat there and you're like, well, I don't really know where to start. I don't really know what is an overcapacitated capacity area of my business. And where can I start to really streamline? What can I start off with? First one is invoice supplier document matching. So any kind of documents that you're receiving from your suppliers, whether they're invoices, statements to be reconciled, trip information that's important to be passed over to the customer. We have a lot of document matching solutions and automations that will allow us to communicate with the customers for any important information or documentation, or if it's invoices or any kind of statement reconciliation. Our document matching solution can really help automate that entire process, match against your system, and take a lot of the headache away from your financial admin team who are constantly downloading invoices and checking statements from inboxes or systems that you have that's making that payment, comparing it against booking information in the system and making sure it's accurate before uploading. The next big area, and probably relevant to more than the document matching process, would be the schedule change. Those companies that do flight and cruise and possibly other automations. We work with a ferry OTA called Direct Ferries, and schedule change is a big issue. What normally happens is whether you're using GDS system or booking directly through the supplier, you're going to have schedule change notifications, whether that's into your inbox or through to your GDS queue. There's still a lot of, even for those that are using a GDS system, there is still a lot of manual intervention during that process. So let's talk about the inbox one firstly. Schedule change email notification comes in from a supplier. Your team is extracting that information, looking at the original booking time and making a justified decision what to do next. Do I need to contact the customer? Do I need to notify them? Do I need to issue a new ticket for their new flight? All these things that a human would have to do, we can automate that entire process, or you can. It is possible. Now, if it's a GDS queue, you've still got humans going into a GDS queue system with all the flight schedule changes, going through them one by one, and then making a decision. Do I need to communicate with this customer? You can automate that communication with the customer. You can even automatically issue those new tickets when they accept that schedule change as well. So automated check-in solutions for those who are hoteliers who might be looking to reduce kind of front of house staff. There are ways that you can automate this process to remove that kind of human intervention, where we can have a fully integrated solution that helps companies check in. And this is even for airlines as well, at airports. Booking off systems. So for those companies that might not have APIs available for all of their suppliers that they book through, and they're looking to typically the process is the agent would book on a portal, on the supplier portal, and then copy and paste that information into an internal booking system. that's a long task. They've got to first generate obviously the booking on the off system, on the supplier portal or website, confirm it with the customer, confirm that, and then when it's confirmed, copying and pasting that information into a centralized system, booking system. We find on average about 50% errors across all businesses who are currently doing that manual process. That can be automated live in front of the agent. So when they're at the end of the confirmation screen, copying and pasting that information into a centralized system, booking system, or extracting that information from any confirmation emails that come through into a centralized email inbox. The next one is stop sales. So if you have hoteliers that you have agreements with, contracts with, stop sales automation. We're starting to do this with companies that are doing kind of 400 to 2,000 email stop sales requests per day. It's long, it's repetitive, it's tedious. Administrative staff don't enjoy doing it. So there is an automation where you're able to, when that email comes into that centralized email inbox, the automatic solution will be able to extract that information from an email inbox, compare that against the contract or a certain rule in, and initiate that stop sale within your back end system. So therefore, it would automatically be processed and make sure that the stop sales are initiated, removing that manual headache from that human, freeing up that resource to work in other areas of business. Another area is booking quality checks. We get a lot of requests for this. It doesn't matter what types of checks they are, even APIS information, advanced passenger information. We can look at that as well. But we can, whatever systems you're using or processes, we can help write, and you can probably help automate that process to again remove that human intervention. And then the third and final one is data warehouse and reporting, getting visibility of your data from a click of a button, having regular reports that are generated that are needed for board priority conversations. So these are some of the ideas, and I always say, like, although these are the core areas that most people come to us, this normally then sparks an idea in someone's head. So look, if you've got anything that comes to mind, do get in touch. If there's a manual process that it's really slowing you down or slowing your operation down, the worst thing that us as a company will do is either tell you can do it this way internally, or we'll tell you it probably costs the same as the human resource at the moment, but I would probably lean more towards it's going to save you in the long run. So we'd end up building a business case around where it's really going to make that impact in your business. Certainly if you're growing anywhere between 10 and 20% year on year or higher, then definitely you can, it's worth looking into. So the question was at the start, can I free up 80% of my current operational costs? Well, the answer is yes. And certainly in the long run. Clarity is a prime example. So Clarity Travel relied heavily on manual efforts to process their invoices, because this was the biggest challenge and it was really slowing them down. They were frustrated because they needed to continuously hire manpower, and our solution was to ultimately write them an automatic solution that does what the human does. From that, they increased, so the efficiency and the operational growth within that increased from 100 to 150 per day to around about 3,000 invoices being processed per day. That is a massive increase and a huge reduction of what they could have been spending on human staff. Processing capabilities without RPA, obviously doing 100 to 150 versus 3,000 a day is massive. And the invoices then processed by our robotic process automation was, it went from 100% manual processing to about 10% human interaction, and that 10% was only for those invoices that we raised as an exception that had errors. That is a huge result, and it demonstrates the value in automation. And I don't have to tell you any financial figures here, but 2,900% increase on monthly documents processed versus what they were doing manually. That is a huge increase in efficiency. And then that 90% reduction in manual intervention is is huge. They've just reduced their manual resource, their human resource, from 100% manual to 10%. That is allowing them to reallocate that resource into other areas of the business, and that's a huge cost saving. And also, you then stop hiring. This is the chance I usually open up to questions. I haven't had any questions come through yet. For those who are watching this on demand, please do get in touch. Let us know if you've got any questions for us. We're happy to book in time with you if you want a more one-to-one kind of private discussion. Do also keep your eye out for our, our other workshops that are coming up, in educational workshops coming up in the future. We do 3 a month that cover all regions of the globe to make sure that people can attend. So yeah, please do get in touch. Please send us some questions if you've got any, and I look forward to catching you on our next one. Thanks.